All right, so we are looking at page 99. We're going to do the 2.2c tables with context notes. First thing is, says here, find the slope of the following tables. Write a sentence explaining the context. So that's exactly what I'm going to do first, and then I'll answer those questions on the side, and that's the order that we want to do these in. So first things first, let's see what happens here when I find that change in y and change in x. I know when I'm looking at a table that that column on the left is x and the column on the right is y. So I'm going to do that first. Just make sure I mark that down so that I remember which one's going to be the change in y and which one's going to be the change in x. Okay. So let's see. What am I changing by here? What am I changing by here? 2550 minus 4250. Well, that's a change of 17. It's actually negative 17. 4250 minus 5950, that's another negative 17. And 5950 minus 7650, that's another negative 17. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. 5 minus 7 is negative 2. And 7 minus 9 is negative 2. So what I have here is going to be a negative over a negative, so I know my slope's going to be positive. Let's write that out. So it's negative 17 over negative 2, which really is just 17 over 2. And now I can include my labels here. So I know that y-axis is representing the total earned in dollars. So I'm just going to use the dollar symbol. If you want to write out the word dollars, more power to you. But then on the x side of the table, that is the number of lawns. So I'll just put lawns there. Okay. I don't like seeing what I make per 2 lawns. Remember, we talked about this before. So I'm going to change that. And when we're talking about money, it's okay to have a decimal in our slope. So I'm going to change that and actually divide by 2. When I divide by 2 so that I can see what that is per 1 lawn, I see that it's $8.50. Okay. Well, that makes my sentence really easy, right? When I simplify my slope and I include those labels, I can take this straight to the sentence. Okay, $8.50 per lawn. And do we have a name for this one? We don't. So I'll make my sentence just a little bit better and say, Mr. Hilgert earns, and we'll say $8.50 for each lawn he mows. Okay, so for here, I've got some questions on the side that I have to answer from that now. Okay, the first question says, how much money is earned after mowing 4 lawns? Sorry. How much money is earned after mowing 4 lawns? Well, now that I know how much it's going to cost to mow just 1 lawn, right? I found my slope here as $8.50 per lawn. To mow 4 lawns, I'm just going to have to multiply that by 4. So now that I know my slope in its most simplest form, all I have to do is multiply that by 4. And when I do 850 times 4, I get that I would earn $34 for mowing 4 lawns. Now for the next one, same thing. Since I know what I earned for 1 lawn, finding for 11 lawns, all I have to do is multiply that by 11. So I'm going to write that out, $8.50 times 11. And for that, I would earn a total of $93.50. And then for the last one, how many lawns must be mowed to earn $212.50? So all I have to do is see how many times does $8.50 go into $212.50. And when I do that, I find out, well, let's set it up first. $212.50 divided by $8.50. I see that Mr. Hilgerch would have to mow 25 lawns. Okay. For the next question, we're going to do the same thing, although something's different about this one, right? It says, example 2, an airplane ascends. Remember, ascends means going up. I'm going to just draw a little arrow going up. Ascends. Descends would be going down. So an airplane ascends 2,000 feet per minute. Finish filling out the table. That's what was different about this one. The table's not all the way filled in for us. To show the altitude of the plane at different periods of time. So for this one, if it's 2,000 feet per minute, that means at 0 minutes it's on the ground. After 1 minute, so number of minutes is 1, well, that's going to be 2,000 feet. Okay, after two minutes, so add another 2,000. I'm at 4,000 feet. After 3 minutes, there you go, add another 2,000. And then finally, after 4 minutes, the airplane would be up to 8,000 feet. Okay. Why didn't we have to find the slope for this? Why didn't we have to write our sentence for this? Okay. The reason is they already wrote the sentence. This is the sentence. That is the sentence. So what's my slope? My slope, my change in y over change in x, is already in the sentence, just like you guys have practiced doing. It's 2,000 feet per minute. So that's what I'll write out. 2,000 feet every 1 minute. Okay. They don't ask us to do that, but I can gather that information from the sentence that they gave us. They already gave us the slope in a sentence. So let's answer these questions. Now that I know the slope is 2,000 feet every 1 minute or per minute, it should make these next questions easier to answer. The first one says, what is the altitude of the plane after 8 minutes? Well, if I know what it is per 1 minute, how much it's gaining in an altitude every 1 minute, I can just multiply that by 8. That's why it's helpful to write out that slope so that we can see that. So I've got 2,000 times 8. And that's going to put me at 16,000 feet. Okay, what is the altitude of the plane after 3.5 minutes? So again, since I wrote out the slope, I'm just going to multiply the slope by the number of minutes they're giving us. So 2,000 times 3.5. And that's going to equal 7,000 feet. And then for the last one, when will the plane, there's a typo, be at an altitude of 38,000 feet? Well, if it gains 2,000 feet per minute, I've got to divide the altitude that they give us, the 38,000 feet, by how many feet per minute it's gaining altitude. 38,000 divided by 2,000. In other words, how many times does my slope ratio go into that number that they gave us there? So 38,000 divided by 2,000, and that is 19 minutes. All right, so it's similar to finding out the slope from a table. It's just now the slope has meaning. The slope has context. It's easier for us to see why we're finding slope. But we can use this to answer these other questions. All right, your guys' assignment isn't on the very next page. I believe the next page is blank. Yeah, so it's not on page 100. Your assignment starts on page 101 and goes to page 102. Make sure if you have any questions, you ask your teacher.